Well, hello again, everybody. It's Kim Conchie, Chief Executive of Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, and today for the Chamber podcast, I'm delighted to have with me Julie Mazzoni, who's the Regional Business Development Manager of Cornwall Waste Solutions Limited. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Kim. Lovely to be here.
Lovely. And again, here on Bodmin Moor, Shane says it rains and is foggy sometimes, but...
I don't believe him.
I don't believe it. No. Sun shines, the sheep are gambling in the fields, and Shane's gambling in the studio. So
exactly.
All happy. So thank you very much for your time. Delighted to meet you properly after so many months of sort of online conversations, and I know you've been a keen attendee of some of Mirren's coffee and takeovers and that sort of thing. So thank you for your enthusiasm for what we're trying to do at Cornwall Chamber. But lovely to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
So Cornwall Waste Solutions, I mean, I see this as very much part of what Cornwall's direction of travel is in business, our clean and green growth sort of thing. So just very briefly for people, what is the sort of core business of Cornwall Waste Solutions, Julie?
Okay, so we are a leading independent waste management operator. We understand our impacts and aspects on the environment is paramount to ensure sustainability, working practices, and align with our overall business strategy. We place greener initiatives. So we've invested in new wagons, new lorries with low emissions, and later to be able to get around the streets of Padstow, St Ives, and find this
and many other places in
and
Cornwall.
many other places in Cornwall. Yes, and we continue to invest heavily in this because we want to be more ethical, we want to be more sustainable, and we're finding that it's working. You know.
Well, I think those ethics that you've talked about there are very high in most Cornwall's businesses and most Cornish people's minds now, aren't they? I mean, yes. I see ourselves as a sort of leader in, the direction of travel of looking after our place and planet, as well as making sure that our businesses are profitable. And I think that is something that we can take a lead on, because it's just such a lovely place that we work and live, and we, business owners, any more than anybody else, don't want to mess that up in any way. So,
absolutely.
You've got do you sort of have an education program with these businesses that you're dealing with, as well as sort of the waste solution bit? Is there an education job to be done?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely. We believe that waste management should be in the business plan, and we are educating businesses to do that. We're finding there are quite a few businesses that don't do that, and we're happy to talk to them and do waste audits free of charge. Go to any business in Cornwall and help to educate.
My feeling is very strongly when I talk to young people in business that businesses that haven't got some sort of policy around an environmental solution are not going to attract the high level recruits, and increasingly they won't get the customers that they want, because people want to buy from businesses with a purpose, don't they? With
Absolutely.
A mission around these sort of ethical values that you're talking about.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Actually, there's a stick as well as a carrot here, because I think if you look at Cornwall Council's 2030 net zero plan, then increasingly businesses will insist on before their, as part of their procurement procedure, will insist on some sort of look at the policies. And I think it just makes commercial sense as well as altruism for Cornwall, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we ensure that all the waste that we collect is recycled, 100%, nothing to landfill, and we demonstrate our commitment to excellence for that, and we build into the business our environmental practices, and we're just trying to push that over to the businesses.
Well, many years ago, before I started this job, I was taken to Connor Downs for the to have a look at the waste, the landfill site there. And I'll tell you, once when you've seen one of those landfill sites, you're very much more cautious about what you chuck away. It's a pretty horrific scar on the landscape, isn't it? So
absolutely. Perhaps we should do that, Kim. Perhaps we should take businesses to the landfill site and show them.
I think that would frighten them into realising
Yes.
a bit more care and attention would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as well as the sort of commitment and the ethical approach that you're bringing to it, Julie, is there sort of technical advancements which are helping you to move in this direction?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have really good telematics for routing, which reduces the mileage for collecting, which makes us more sustainable as a waste operator. The driver dash cameras are also resulting in better road manners for all parties, really. So we think they're essential.
Yeah, and then the sort of at the back end, the recycling. Then is that all run well in Cornwall, in your opinion? Have we got advancements to make at the actual recycling end of it? What happens there that could be done better?
I think the recycling, once we've collected and we recycle, absolutely fine. It's separated and it goes to the right places. It's just educating the businesses to do that. And we need them to separate their waste. Yeah. And unfortunately, it doesn't always happen.
Well, look, it's a passion of mine as well. So anything that the Chamber of Commerce can do to help you get those messages across repeatedly and clearly, I think we'll come at the end to what people can actually do to make most impact. But how does Cornwall perform at the moment? Well, are we recycling a good proportion of our waste?
Cornwall, unfortunately, is a strategic location. So the issue really is that most process companies are out of the county. So that lends to more trucks collecting as an infrastructure is limited. The clear message that we at CWS would like to provide is having an effect on more recycling bins sold for us as a company, alongside general waste bins, containers. So that for us is a result. But we can be done. There are things that can be done better, and we need to educate businesses to recycle, and that's 100%.
Yeah, and when it comes to sort of simple things like a business getting hold of these bins and treating them in the right way and separating their waste in the correct way, that actual sort of hardware, if you like, the bins, are they easily available from you, or is that
absolutely
that's something Cornwall Waste Solutions provide those bins and will instruct colleagues in a business on how to separate the waste and so on and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a phone call away or an email away, and you could have it in the next day. Yeah, and it's all within the costs of your.
Is it? Okay,
yes.
Great. Okay. So there's absolute. You've got no sort of hidden extras once you sign up with Cornwall Waste Solutions. You know what you're getting from the start, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And there's an ongoing education program at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes.
Excellent. And you're at this cutting edge of where the world is going, obviously. In Cornwall this year, we've got G7, where the themes are very much about build back greener, and the values that they're espousing in that conference are about shared values, about climate change, and I think these are things which Cornwall ought to be taking a lead on. Yes. So, in your expert opinion, and all the research you're getting, are you most worried about the pollution of our seas or landfill, or is it climate change? Is it the bigger pictures? What sort of keeps you awake at night, Julie, in your role?
Right, okay. Well, everyone knows there's a global fight to reduce emissions, and this has to start by educating people. At CWS, our 4 key recommendations to break down those barriers, because there are barriers, stopping people, which stop people live more sustainably, are education around cost, marketing sustainability lifestyles easier to achieve, harnessing people pressure to drive better business, and marking sustainable consumer choices, making it the default. So there's no choice. You have to recycle. Okay,
so a bit of public sector guidance. Yes. And so a stick as well as a carrot then, really.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. Okay. And if people are listening to this as obviously Cornish residents as well as business people, what can they do best? I mean, you're back in this 2-minute foundation, and I'd like you to tell me a bit more about that. And what are those changes in behaviour that become the default attitude to make this sustainable by everybody, really?
Yeah, you mentioned the 2-minute charity, right? They are called the 2-Minute Foundation, and they are doing a 2-minute beach clean. So they're devoted to cleaning up the planet 2 minutes at a time. So we're going to get involved with that with St Austell Brewery as well, and we're going to actually follow the beach cleaners and allow one of our lorries with the low emissions to follow them and take the waste, because at the moment they're just popping them in the boot of their car, and there's only so much rubbish they can get in the boots of their car. So they're a charity. You can go to www.2minute.org and sign up for free. just have a look. Nicola Green is promoting this, and we're going to follow her 100%. So again, just getting involved in that, a business, send one of your colleagues along just to have a look what they're doing. That opens up many doors.
Well, I think there's a perfect. It sounds very suitable for Cornwall solutions and our small business. It sounds like it's easy to engage in.
Yes.
I also am a passionate litter picker. I think litter and the sort of debris and flotsam and jetsam from ships is one of the things that really is a disgrace in Cornwall. I can't bear it when I see roadside verges and beaches dropped with litter. So if everybody just spent 2 minutes with a bin bag, it would make a huge difference, wouldn't it?
Exactly, definitely.
And I think this is a really good one. I think that 2 minute thing is somebody's thought really cleverly about that it's not a huge onerous commitment that you're making here.
Exactly.
It's something that you've got when you've got 2 minutes to spare, or you're walking anyway and you've got 2 minutes to pick up some litter on the beach or your footpath, wherever you are. It's a really great thing to do, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, look at this beautiful weather at the minute we're having in Cornwall. If you're sat on the beach or if you're sat in a park, take a carrier bag with you, something to just pick up the litter that unfortunately has been blown around. Yeah, blown around, thrown around, absolutely, yeah.
And I suppose in these days of COVID and other sort of disease, I suppose we should say to wear gloves is a sensible thing for when you're doing those sort of things, is it? Yes.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, some of the worst bits of litter you wouldn't want to touch anyway, so a pair of gloves is probably admirable.
No.
And that leads us on to us as Cornwall residents, and we need to educate visitors when they're coming to Cornwall that they also have a responsibility to keep our place clean and tidy, and we're looking like we're going to have a record number of visitors this year.
Absolutely.
Literally, I'm hearing from May through to October it's going to be frenetic. So Cornwall Waste Solutions, I mean, you have to step up at those times, I guess. You've got a real job on your hands then.
Absolutely. Very, very busy time coming up, but we're at our best when we're the busiest. So we're ready, we're willing, and we're able to go anywhere in Cornwall and help out with the waste problem we're probably going to have.
Okay, and that is really important, because those businesses, let's hope, fingers crossed, that all those hospitality businesses and retail businesses which have had a pretty terrible time for the last 12 months, they're going to absolutely fire off, and I know they're already cracking on now, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely.
So that to know that Cornwall Waste Solutions is there, there's going to be an absolute, exponential increase in waste and litter and so on and so forth. So you're absolutely stepping up to the plate to get that sorted out.
Absolutely. We just want people basically to look at CWS or Cornwall Waste Solutions and be the go-to supplier for the ethics and the things that we're doing with our business, to help out the planet. We just want people to come to us.
Right. Well, it's absolutely essential for the world, obviously, but particularly for Cornwall. I think it's absolutely, really, to hear your passion is tremendous.
Thank you.
And what about individuals? They also are going to be busy this summer. A lot of people in Cornwall work in those industries that we've just talked about who are going to be hectic.
Yes.
What as Cornish people can we do to make the most difference? Is it, I think people get confused sometimes about whether it's obviously separating their rubbish, but what are there other behaviours that you'd like to see people see as the default position?
Yeah, I mean, as a society, we have to think about everything we do anyway, from turning on a light at home or turning on the heating at home. What we'd like to see people do is just to make a conscious decision. So if you go to turn the light on, instead of turning the light on, open a blind, open your curtains. Instead of going to turn the heating on, let's put a jumper on or a cardigan. Let's try and educate people to do that. It's going to help the planet tenfold.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's so easy, those default positions when you say just go and put a jersey on. Yeah, it's. But
we don't, do we, Ken? We need to.
I know
start doing
we
that.
all need to be better at that. That's absolutely right. Yeah, and if we can just end with Cornwall Waste Solutions as a very civic-minded business, a member of the Cornwall Chamber of Commerce. Are you sort of recruiting? What sort of skills do you need when you look for people these days? Are they all techies, Julie, or are there sort of customer care people? Are there people on the road? What's the sort of skill sets that you need when you're looking for people?
I mean, it's been really hard the last 12 months for everyone in the country, in the world, and obviously businesses. But we've recruited 2 people in that 12 months. So we've been very, very lucky. One of them is myself. Been very fortunate to join Cornwall Waste Solutions back in December. We're fully staffed at the minute, which is amazing. But the skills are varied. We look at the person. Are they a fit to the company? If they're a fit to the company, you can learn skills. You can learn anything. So you fit with us, we fit with you. That's all we look for.
And I really want to grasp that point, because young people listening, so often employers say to me, as long as I've got somebody who's willing and prepared to learn, who can turn up on time, look a customer in the eye, take a message, all those fundamentals, we don't mind training them in the skills that we want. Now, obviously, if you're building rockets, you need rocket scientists, but for most employers, you want somebody who's got the aptitude to learn. And I think that, we are passionate at Cornwall Chamber of Commerce about bridging this gap between what schools are being measured on and what employers tell us the whole time they want. There's a disconnect there, and
yes.
we've got this employer-led skills direction now, and they're far more we're working with the FE colleges to make sure that, that what employers want, these skills we're talking about and that you've just listed there, as being a good team player, being a responsible citizen, are actually the skill sets that most employers want, and that the education system in this country needs to concentrate far more on those things, and not just cramming for exams, really. So that's really interesting to hear that, businesses, even at the cutting edge of the sort of environmental awareness field, want a team player.
Absolutely.
Great skill, isn't it, that?
Yes.
Often forgotten.
Best skill.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, no, everybody, if you're a team player and you like other people and you like your colleagues, then you're going to put your shoulder to the wheel, aren't you?
You're going to fly.
Yeah. Very good indeed. Okay, well, that's been absolutely great. And I've got a really clear picture now, I think, of what CWS does. And I think I set this central role in Cornwall. So very best of luck. Very best of luck with the 4 million incomers we're going to get, and all the waste and stuff that they're going to produce. And just give us that 2-Minute Foundation website again for people to register their interest for a 2-minute beach clean or a litter pick, whatever they've got 2 minutes spare in their day. Okay,
so the lady that's running the campaign is Nicola Green, and it's www.2minute.org, and they're devoted to cleaning up the planet 2 minutes at a time.
What a wonderful idea. So if we can start with cleaning up Cornwall 2 minutes at a time, we'll be at the forefront.
Absolutely.
Julie, thank you very much for your time. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Kim.
To hear some of the stuff that you're doing and the challenges you've got for this year, and we look forward to working with you over the coming months.
And good luck to the Chamber and all you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.